Okay, hello, this is Evan Chauvette for Angelo State University's Public Speaking Com 1315 class, Persuasive Speech. Go ahead, next. This is my audience for today. All right, so maybe you've been to a military event, or even spent time in a military base, or even just walking through the airport. You might have seen the red, white, and blue logo of the Uniformed Services Organization, or the USO. If you've gotten closer to the table or the desk where they're sitting at, you might have noticed the smile and warmth of the staff and the volunteers that sit there. One of the 30,000 volunteers at any one time that are volunteering with the USO. Our short time together today is I'd like to persuade you to volunteer your time along with those other 30,000 people with the USO. Apart from researching the USO for this speech, as a 20-year military veteran, I have both benefited from the USO's program and services and also volunteered with them. So this has a special place in my heart. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about what needs of military service members that the USO fills, what you can do to help, and how precisely you can volunteer. Now let's take a look at what needs the USO fills. Next, please. So, the most popular aspect that people, when they think of the USO, is the celebrities and musicians that entertain troops overseas, which they've been doing since 1941. The USO has coordinated hundreds of thousands of shows. That's not an overestimation. Hundreds of thousands of shows for those military service members overseas. The most famous being Bob Hope, the only honorary member of the armed forces, as he has spent 48 Christmases with service members overseas. Now, this is not just a warm and fuzzy feeling that we give to troops. Brett and Dickerson, researchers in 2006, found that units with high morale have a clear advantage in executing their military mission, meaning that USO is directly assisting the United States meet their military success. So what about the U.S. service members and their families here inside the United States? One of the most stressful times for those families is when they have to move from one duty station to another, called Permanent Change of Station, or PCS. Now, military spouse blogger Claire Wood says this: "You're saying goodbyes. Parents are making sure their kids are okay with the weight of the move. During move week, you're functioning in high surging adrenaline, hoping and estimating whether your things are going to arrive safely at the next place. Parents may have small children carrying them through the airport as they're traveling from one place to the next, with no place to sit, electronic chargers being sparse, and everything is too expensive." So how does the USO handle this? Now, Chuck Baker from the Nevada's Department of Veteran Services, he notes that the USO operates airport lounges in almost every major airport in the United States, providing a safe and comfortable place for military families. Without volunteers, those airport lounges simply could not function. Now, did you know that the USO also provides counseling for service members who are transitioning out of the armed forces? For those service members who are looking to rejoin the civilian section, that can be a very tenuous proposition. According to the Pew Research Center in 2011, 1 in 3 military service members report they have a very difficult time rejoining the civilian sector. In response to this, the USO operates what's called the Pathfinder program. Now, David Thorson, who is a USO Center Director, he describes the Pathfinder program as this: "We help troops transition. They're like a one-on-one concierge service, helping service members find employment, educational opportunities, certification, whatever they need. We want the USO to feel like home for them." And of the 250 volunteers he has in his region, he says his program would be impossible to run without them. So, now that we've taken a look at just some of the needs that the USO fills and what they do to meet those needs. What can you do to help? So, we've mentioned a few of the unique stressors and pressures that military members face and how the USO can help them. The USO supports the military at over 250 locations worldwide and in the United States. And they need volunteers to provide their time, energy, and enthusiasm. So I have the 5 steps right here. They're very straightforward. You can Google USO volunteer, and one of the first links will take you to this website, volunteers.uso.org. On the right-hand side of the page is a red button. It says register here. You click that button, and it'll give you a map. You just type in where you are. And if there's a USO center near there, you click on that, and then it'll take you to a page to fill in your basic information. Once you do that, you'll get an email. You click on it, it confirms your account, and now you are a volunteer with the USO. And you'll get information from your local USO office about how you can help them. Now also it says here in the bottom, if there isn't a location in your area, but you still want to help in some way, you can email the USO directly at very straightforward, volunteer@uso.org. Next please. So you've done it. You're a volunteer with the USO. What happens now? What should you expect? Well, according to the USO Frequently Asked Questions, as a new volunteer, you'll assist with greeting, checking in service members to their centers, assisting with the activities and programs they host there, offering food and beverages, maintaining the tidiness of the centers, and supporting the staff in whatever way they need. Now, what would happen if we didn't have those volunteers? Think about those military service members overseas who depend on the programs and services the USO gives. They would lose that vital link back home. Traveling military members and their families would have to face it alone with their unique pressures. And transitioning service members, when they need help the most, won't have a hand to help them back up. Next, please. So, to summarize what we talked about, we discussed the needs of service members and what the USO does to help them. Those overseas, those traveling around the country, and those who are transitioning back to civilian life. This doesn't even include things that they do like couples counseling, like family center programs, like offering free phone calls to service members overseas back home. We talked about what you can do to help, the impact of that, and what happens if we don't have volunteers. And most of all, we talked about how you can right now sign up to help in the USO. So thank you very much for your time. Our short talk today was simply to help persuade you to volunteer your time for the USO. So take out that smartphone on your way out, type in that email, type in the web address, and give your time today. Thank you very much. And here's my audience as they remain. My camera wife has the camera. Thank you very much.